Hello everyone, this is Ketish here. In this video, I'm going to go through the AQA Combined Science question number 2 from 2022, Chemistry Paper 1 Foundation Tier. Question number 2. This question is about hydrogen chloride and sodium hydroxide. A chlorine has 7 electrons in the outer shell, and hydrogen has 1 electron in the outer shell. So this is key, 7 electrons and 1 electron. Figure 4 represents part of a dot and cross diagram for a molecule of hydrogen chloride. Complete the dot and cross diagram. Use dots and crosses to represent the electron. Now, if I say I'm going to use crosses for the electrons in chlorine and hydrogen, I'll use the dot, right? So these two, the dot and the cross, are going to represent the electrons. So complete the dot and cross diagram. So hydrogen has 1 electron in its outer shell, which it actually shares between chlorine. Chlorine, which is in group 7, has 7 electrons. So they've already put down 2 crosses now. So you can't actually use a dot for chlorine. Hydrogen has to be the dot. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The 7th is actually shared. Now, if they're sharing, each of them needs to contribute equal number of electrons. So you get 1 mark for drawing this part correctly, and the 2 electrons in chlorine, which is not shared. Hydrogen chloride dissolves in water to produce hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid reacts with sodium hydroxide solution. Complete the word equation for the reaction between hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide. So we have an acid and an alkali here. So the acid plus the alkali will always give you the salt plus the water. So they want you to write down the name of the salt. So remember, the salt is made up of the metal and the hydroxide part, so, and the non-metal part. So it will be sodium chloride. Next question. Solutions of hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide are reacted and the temperature change is recorded. In the reaction, 3.65 grams of hydrogen chloride. So you have 3.65, that's actually key. 3.65 grams of hydrogen chloride reacts with 4 grams of sodium hydroxide. 1.8 gram of water is produced. Calculate the mass of the other product. So they want to know the mass of the salt that is actually produced. So the total mass is 3.65 plus 4 grams is the mass of the reactants. That 4 plus 3 is 7.65 gram. Now, out of that, 1.8 gram is water. So if I take away 1.8 grams from this, it should give me 5.85 gram. The rest of it is the salt. Figure 2.4. Sorry, question 2.4. Figure 5 shows part of the thermometer used to measure the temperature. What is the temperature reading on the thermometer? So you have 17 and 18. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divisions. So for each degree, it's been split up by 5. So 1 divided by 5 is 0.2 degrees Celsius. So From there, it's 17.02, 17.04, 17.06. No, sorry, 17.6. 17.6, not 02. In the reaction, the temperature increases. What type of reaction is happening when the temperature increases? Now, if the temperature is increasing, we call it an exothermic reaction. If the temperature decreased, we would call it an endothermic reaction. Question number 2.6. Sodium hydroxide is an alkali. Which two ions? Right? So, which two ions are in sodium hydroxide solution? So, the sodium ion, right? Sodium has the symbol Na, which you will find in the periodic table. The hydroxide is, the hydro is from the hydrogen and the oxide is from the oxygen. So, we don't write it as HO, we write it as actually OH. So, we have Na plus, there's only one Na, and then there's only one OH. So, each of them carries a mark. That brings us to the end of question number 2, and I will see you in question number